Good day, everyone. This is Sidney for Fair of SL Podcast. I'm very excited again today to be sharing information with you, the information that is meant to change your life and make you better. We are excited again today to be sharing information. These are some of the things that we take pleasure on to share information with hope that it will impart a little bit of knowledge in some other people's lives. We need to keep improving every day. We need to keep pushing and becoming better. We owe it to ourselves. That is one of the most important things that we need to understand. We need to keep improving. We need to keep working. We need to keep learning. It is very critical. Today we are on another important topic, which I hope we are going to learn a lot from. And I want us to personalize it. It has to be personal. And for lack of better words, I've used the topic, I refuse to be chained. We all want to be free. We all want to enjoy our freedom. We're talking freedom of our souls, freedom of our spirits, freedom of our physical bodies. We just want to live life in freedom. And with my personal experience, I've realized that we can achieve that goal of being free. But we can't talk about freedom while we are still chained by different things. Because we live in a world where there are a lot of red tapes, there are a lot of things which can chain us, things which can limit us, things that can make us feel we are not worthy of certain things. And that is a chain that we need to be breaking away from, because it is very important for us to live life of freedom. When we talk about freedom, freedom is what we usually talk about. We talk about freedom in countries' legislation. It has been crafted as part of the things that is desired for citizens. We're talking human rights laws. Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of many kinds have been crafted in human rights laws. So, which means humanity globally are in unison about the issue of freedom. But can we really say majority of people experience freedom in their personal scale or their personal lives? We really can't say that, because we can't talk about freedom while we live in abject poverty, while we live below the poverty line. While we are still bound, we can't express ourselves the way we want. We can't do the things that we want to do because of lack, because of many other things, so which are hindering us from enjoying the freedom that we talk about. We talk about freedom and we drum it at the top of the hills. Those are the things that we talk about. We talk about freedom and we express our desire for freedom. We do that and we continuously talk about freedom. But in most cases, what we realize, a lot of people are bound in some ways. And we are talking about a refusal to be chained, because it is important. We can't be the best version of ourselves. We can't do what we want to do while we are still chained in some way. We need to break free so that we can enjoy the freedom of our lives. And we can do that. We can achieve that. It is very important. And on paper, freedom is outlined nicely. But in reality, we can't talk about freedom as something that a lot of people are enjoying. That is not possible, and we can reach the freedom that we desire, if we can make a decision, a personal decision to say, I'm going to let go of anything that is going to bind me. I need to enjoy freedom. I need to be there, enjoying my life and being the best version of myself without anything hindering me, without anything that is binding me to a mediocre life and a life that I'm not enjoying. It is something that we can achieve. It is very ironical, so for us to be compelled by societies to follow certain kind of societal limitations or societal molds, because in most cases we don't live the lives that we desire because we are compelled by public opinion. We are compelled by societal norms. We are compelled to comply to certain kind of thinking. And if we want to break away from all that, it is seen as treason. And a lot of us, we can't express ourselves, we can't be who we want to be because we are afraid of societal rejections. So this is something that we really need to think about, and we need to express ourselves a little bit, and we need to come to a place where we understand we can live outside the societal molds. We can live our lives the best way we can without fear of rejection and isolationism, because we can be afraid of being isolated because we think differently and we do things differently. This is something that we really need to think about, and these are some of the things that we really need to make a decision on, to say, I'm not going to be chained by people's opinion, public opinion, and societal molds, societal norms, and societal mindsets and paradigms. We don't need to chain ourselves and not express ourselves the best way we can because we are afraid of being rejected, or we are afraid of being isolated because we have a different kind of thinking. A lot of us are chained because of that. We can't make decisions because we are afraid we are going to go against the societal way of thinking. And we are afraid of being different and being unique because we just don't want to ruffle the feathers of our societies or our communities. But we can't be the best version of ourselves. We can't be who we can be if we are not going to break away from societal norms and societal limitations. It is very important for us to understand that it is painful when we are bound in some way, where our thinking is limited because there are certain things we are afraid of. We are not enjoying our liberty, or we are not enjoying our freedom to do what we wish we can do. When we are not enjoying the freedom of trying to go for our dreams and our visions, it is something which is a serious limitation because we can't reach our full potential if we are still bound by certain kind of opinions and certain kind of limitations and red tapes. We need to break free from all these expectations. We can't reduce our lives to people's expectations. We can live our lives the best way we can if we can understand that we are the only ones who can do what we desire to do, and we can push and be the best version of ourselves. We can't be bound by public opinions. And these are some of the things that can really bind us. And we're talking public opinions, we're talking societal expectations, we're talking societal paradigms, we're talking belief systems, we're talking mindsets, we're talking spiritual bondages, we're talking lack. All these things can really bind us and reduce us to nothing. Because when we are bound, we are going to be reduced to nothing. When we are bound, we live a life of mediocrity. When we are bound by all these things, we live a life that we are not going to fulfill our potential. But we can come to a place where we make a decision to say, I'm breaking away from all these things. How people perceive life is not how I'm going to perceive life. How people look at life is not how I look at life. And I'm going to do what I deem best for me, because it is very important. As long as we are going to be bound by societal expectations, we can't be the best version of ourselves. It is very critical for us to come to that understanding and to break away from every chain, everything that can limit us, everything that can reduce us to our lesser abilities. We really need to break away from that, because we owe it to ourselves. We can be the best version of ourselves if we can break away from all these expectations. Our lives will always be changed somehow if we don't realize the things which are anti-progress in our lives. There are things which are hindering us from reaching our potentials. As long as we are not going to realize those things, our lives are always going to be bound in some way. The things that are anti-progress are the things that are limiting us from reaching our potential. It is very important for us to understand that we can live our lives with freedom. Freedom to express ourselves the best way we can. Freedom to do what we deem best to bring or to yield better results for our lives. The bottom line is we want our lives to be better. If we want our lives to be better, we should refuse to be chained. It is very critical. We live below our capabilities. This is something that is common among many people. We live below our capabilities because when we allow ourselves to be infested by the things that are counterproductive, when we allow ourselves to be infested or to be affected or to be limited by the things which are counterproductive, we need to be productive. Everything we do, we need to see the results. But we are not going to fulfill our capabilities. We are not going to fulfill our potential if we are going to be infested by the things which are counterproductive, the things that are working against us. And these are the things that will bind us. And that's why we are saying, I refuse to be chained. Why should I allow myself to be chained by all these things? These things are not working for me. They are counterproductive. These things are anti-progress. And if they are anti-progress, why should I comply and allow myself to be limited by public opinion or how other people see me or how other people want my life to turn out to be? I just cannot allow myself to be chained. My skin color cannot allow me, or it cannot chain me. I'm not going to allow anything to chain me because I owe it to myself. I need to be the best version of myself. I need to do the best things that I can do so that my life can turn out the way I want. So I'm not going to allow anything to chain me. How people see me is their business. But how I see myself and how God sees me is very important, because that is the thing that I will need to harness and push so that my life can turn out the way I want, because it is very important. Public opinion is public opinion. My opinion is my opinion. The way I see myself is very important. The way God sees me is very important. And I need to align myself to how God sees me and how I see myself, and never allow myself to be chained by any other thing. I'm not going to be limited, because it is very important for us to live in freedom so that we can live our lives the best way we can. It is very important. And we are concluding by saying we shouldn't allow ourselves to live in the tombs of hopelessness. While we can strive for betterment of everything concerning us, we just can't allow ourselves to live in the tomb of hopelessness. Why should we allow ourselves to live our lives below our capabilities? Because we are afraid of being isolated, because we are afraid of being rejected, because we are afraid that some other people are not seeing us the way we see ourselves. Why should we allow ourselves to live in the tomb of hopelessness while we can push and become better and do the best things that we can do to improve our lives? We shouldn't continue to hurt ourselves when we can break loose from the kind of red tapes and societal limitations that come with public opinion. We really shouldn't continue to hurt ourselves. When we allow ourselves to be limited, when we allow ourselves to live below our capabilities because we are afraid, why should we continue to hurt ourselves? This thing is not good for us. This thing is not good for me. So why should I continue to live below my capabilities? Because I'm afraid, because I'm bound. We need to break away from all these things. We need to break the chains. We just need to break the ropes that are tying us. It is very important for us to come to that realization that I owe it to myself. I need to be free from the chains, from anything that can bind me and limit my capability and my potential. We shouldn't hand over the power of our lives to the opinions of other people. Why should we do that? Why should we hand the power of our lives to how other people think about us or how other people see us? We owe it to ourselves to refuse to be bound. It is very important. We need to live in freedom, where we can express ourselves the best way we can, where we can push for the things that are going to benefit us. It is very important. So people should be concentrating on their personal lives, because my life is too much to handle for me. And why should I allow other people to neglect their lives and to try to monitor mine? Mine is my responsibility, and I need to make a decision on my life. And I cannot hand over my life to the opinion of other people. That won't be productive at all. I need to do it so that my life can be the best possible for me. I need to come to that realization that I'm not going to hand over my life to the opinion of other people. I refuse to be chained by other people's opinions about my life. I refuse to be limited by anything while I can enjoy the limitless possibility from the infinite supply of the invisible hand of God. I can enjoy the infinite supply of the invisible hand of God. And I refuse to be limited. I owe it to myself. I owe it to me to refuse all these red tapes, all these things that are meant to limit the way I think and the way I process things. I'm not going to be handed how I need to process things by other people. I owe it to myself, and I'm going to do everything in my power to benefit as much as I can from the infinite supply. This universe has an infinite supply of resources that we need to tap into and be the best version of ourselves. It is very important for us to come to that. We can live the lives of our dreams if only we can say no to any kind of bondage and enjoy God's given freedom. God has given us freedom. We are liberated because that's what the Creator has for us. He wants us to live our lives the best way we can and tap into the infinite supply. It is very important for us to understand that. We can break away from any form of bondage if we can buy into the idea of liberalism. We need to be liberated, and we need to live our unique lives. We are different, we are unique, we are formed with this kind of uniqueness, and we need to celebrate our uniqueness, and we need to be liberated from any kind of bondages, public opinion, people's views, and people's suggestions how we need to live our lives. I owe it to myself, and I'm going to live my life the best way I can. We can still coexist even with defiant and divergent views. If we have different views about life, we can still coexist. It doesn't necessarily mean because we don't think the same, or we don't have the same views about life. It is not treason. We shouldn't be, that shouldn't be the things we fight over, and the things, our disagreement shouldn't be a limitation to anyone, because we need to live our lives the best way we can. It is very important. I refuse to be chained. I refuse to conform. I'm not going to conform to any paradigm or societal expectation, because I am me, and I refuse to conform. I refuse to be a commoner. As much as we have tribal lines and we have the pigmentation of our skins, this shouldn't reduce us to be commoners, because we are made equal. And we just can't reduce ourselves because other people want to reduce us. We need to refuse to be chained. We just need to refuse to be commoners, because we are described as commoners. Who has the right over us? No one. Because we are born the same. We are human beings. As long as we are human beings, there is no lesser human being or greater human being. We are just the same. And what is good for other people can be good for me also. I refuse to fit in. And I can now enjoy my uniqueness and be the best person I can be, because we are saying we are refusing to conform. I refuse to be limited. I refuse to be chained by any other thing. It is very important for us to come to that. And like I said when I started, we need to personalize this thing, because we owe it to ourselves to refuse any kind of red tapes and societal expectations that comes as a limitation. If it comes to improve our lives, good and well and fine. But if it comes as something that is going to reduce us to nothingness, we need to come to a place where we say, I refuse to be chained. Thank you.